The man who thinks long term always beats the man who wants excitement. The man chasing excitement is chasing emotional sugar. He needs movement, noise, validation, urgency. He wants to feel alive. So he jumps from thing to thing. New business ideas, new woman, new dopamine hit, new motivation video, new identity. He confuses stimulation with progress. But the long term man understands something brutal. Most extraordinary things in life grow invisibly for a very long time. Muscle, reputation, wealth, wisdom, mastery, inner silence, a powerful body, a sharp mind, a business, trust. These things do not reward you today. They insult your impatience. So the average man quits. Why? Because he needs emotional payment every day. The long term man is different. He plants trees knowing he must sit under the shade years later. He understands compounding. One workout means nothing. 1,000 workouts changes your face, posture, hormones, identity. One sales call means nothing. 3,000 calls changes your instincts. One page read means nothing. 10 years of reading changes the structure of your mind. The excitement chaser cannot survive this because he is addicted to visible rewards. He wants fireworks. But real power grows like roots underground, silently, slowly, without applause. And here is the deeper part. The excitement seeker is usually escaping himself. Silence terrifies him, stillness terrifies him, a long road terrifies him because there are no constant emotional rewards there. So he manufactures drama, endless scrolling, obsession with women, arguing online, political excitement, startup fantasies, emotional highs and lows. The long term man becomes dangerous because he no longer needs excitement to continue. He can do the same boring thing for years, and boredom, when understood correctly, becomes a superpower. Because the world is built by people who can endure repetition without losing conviction. Most men overestimate intensity, very few understand endurance, and endurance wins almost every war. You have been trained to believe that boredom is a signal that something is wrong, something is missing, you should leave, you should seek stimulation. So the moment repetition appears, the modern mind panics. You sit with a book for 20 minutes, suddenly you want YouTube. You work on sales outreach, suddenly Instagram feels important. You go to the gym consistently, suddenly you crave novelty. You sit quietly, suddenly the mind invents problems. Why? Because your nervous system has been conditioned to worship stimulation. But mastery is built almost entirely inside repetition. The pianist repeats scales, the fighter repeats punches, the salesman repeats calls, the writer repeats sentences, the monk repeats silence. To the outside observer, it looks boring, but to the person who sees deeply, repetition is not repetition, it is refinement. The beginner sees same workout again. The master sees slightly better posture, cleaner movement, improved breathing, calmer mind, deeper precision, less wasted energy. The beginner sees monotony, the master sees nuance. That is why boredom becomes a superpower. Because once you stop requiring emotional entertainment every moment, your energy stops leaking. Now you can stay. And staying long enough is what produces uncommon results. Most people never stay long enough anywhere. Not in relationships, not in business, not in fitness, not in learning, not in silence. They leave the moment emotional fireworks disappear. But the real treasures are buried after the excitement phase dies. The first few months are driven by motivation. After that, truth begins. Now you discover whether you actually care, whether you can continue without applause, whether discipline exists, whether your attention is owned by you or by dopamine. Look carefully at your own life. The periods where you changed the most were probably not dramatic. They were repetitive, consistent workouts, consistent reading, consistent walks, consistent solitude, consistent reflection. Small things repeated until they changed your structure. The modern world fears boredom because boredom removes distraction, and when distraction disappears, you meet yourself. That meeting is uncomfortable for most people. so they run back to stimulation. But if you remain there, beyond the itch for novelty, something strange happens. The mind becomes quieter, attention becomes deeper, you begin to see more. Your work sharpens, your emotions stabilize, time compounds. Now, repetition is no longer a prison, it becomes a forge. And this is why endurance beats intensity. Intensity can start things, endurance finishes them. There were two men who wanted to cross a mountain. The first man loved fireworks. He arrived with loud music in his ears, expensive boots, 10 motivational speeches memorized, and a backpack full of excitement. On the first day, he climbed fast. He posted photos. He shouted at the sky. He felt unstoppable. Every step gave him emotion, and emotion, to him, felt like progress. The second man arrived quietly. No performance, no urgency, no need to appear powerful. He simply began walking, slowly. The first man laughed at him. Move faster. Feel the energy. Look at the sunrise. This is life. And for a while, the first man looked alive. But mountains are ancient things. They do not care about enthusiasm. After some days, rain came, then cold, then repetition. The same rocks, the same steps, the same silence. No applause, no excitement, no emotional high. Now the first man became restless. He started looking around constantly. Maybe there is a better path. Maybe this mountain isn't worth it. Maybe I need a new adventure. His relationship with the climb had always depended on stimulation, and stimulation fades. So eventually he sat down. Then he turned back, not because the mountain defeated him, but because boredom did. Meanwhile, the second man kept walking, not happily, not sadly, just steadily, one foot, then another. He had stopped demanding that the journey entertain him, and because of that, he could continue when excitement disappeared. Weeks later, he reached heights the first man never saw, not because he was more talented, but because he remained after the emotions left. This is how most of life works. The body you admire was built in ordinary mornings. The wealth you admire was built in invisible years. The calm mind you admire was built through long encounters with silence. The world celebrates intensity because intensity is visible, but existence itself is built by endurance. A river cuts through rock not because it is explosive, but because it stays. Listen, the tragedy of most lives is not lack of talent, it is the inability to stay. People leave too early, before the business compounds, before the body transforms, before the mind sharpens, before the craft deepens, before the silence reveals something profound. They mistake the disappearance of excitement for the disappearance of meaning, but excitement was never the point. Excitement is what gets children started. Vision is what keeps a man walking when nothing external rewards him. The farmer did not dig up the seed every morning to check if it is growing. He understands time. He understands seasons. He understands invisible progress. That understanding creates patience. And patience in a distracted world becomes a form of power. So the question is not what excites you today. The deeper question is, what can you continue doing long after the emotions disappear? Because that thing, done quietly, repeatedly, without needing applause, will eventually shape your destiny.